I had some of this a couple days ago, and I was just like, hey guys, James here, and today I was checking out all kinds of stuff on Amazon for the best cold brew makers. And when I go on Amazon, I see this thing called the OXO or OXO cold brew coffee maker, and it actually has 1,196 good reviews. So I was like, I have to buy it. And a few days later it came, thanks to Amazon Prime. Yeah, so here it is. And first impressions, well, we actually did a whole video on it, but the audio didn't work, so I'm doing it over. But our first impressions were it's very large, and this is gonna be probably sitting on your counter. And so maybe it might take up some, significant counter space if you have a smaller kitchen. And then our second impression was, this is actually making a concentrate, so it was kind of interesting because we put 10 ounces of coffee in here, and then we drained it out into this glass carafe. And so this is actually a concentrate, but it's just kind of strange because this is really like a nice plastic. It's kind of smoky, and this is like a thin glass, kind of delicate. So we just kind of thought maybe they didn't really match very well, and maybe this should be plastic and this should be plastic. Like the plastic stopper for here is kind of weird, like it doesn't really match. It works, it's a little strange seeing plastic and glass mixed. And then the other thing is like this big rain thing where you pour water on the top and it kind of rains on the grounds, and that kind of gives you like an even experience, an even extraction. But it's like if it's sitting there for 24 hours, you can just fill it with water anyway. So I'm not really sure how beneficial the rain screen is. But either way, let's try out the actual concentrate. I'm gonna do some water and ice and mix in our concentrate here. About a 50-50 mix, and let's see if it tastes good. That's really all that matters in the end, That's really good. Like, some people prefer cold brew concentrates and then they dilute them with water or milk. Some people just prefer like a straight up strength. It's really kind of up to you and what you prefer flavor-wise. But I'm kind of more of like a concentrate person. And you can see the color is just perfect. Yeah, and the caffeine is there. Like, I had some of this a couple days ago, and I was just like, because cold brew, the water is sitting with the grounds a lot longer, so you're getting a lot more caffeine. Maybe you're not getting as much flavor, acidity and all that, but you're getting a lot of caffeine, I think. So I guess I have to figure out if this cold brew maker is kind of better than what we used to do. So we used to get a little cone and a coffee filter, and we would literally just kind of like, pour it in, and it's kind of the same concept, except you're doing it under here, and then you have to clean this out. So I'm just wondering if this is more work than just that, And then of course there are paper filters and steel filters. This is filtered with a steel filter, so we're gonna see how many grounds it actually, how fine it actually is. But it's a really slow drip process. When you push this button, it's a really, it's a satisfying experience down here. It does take a while though, so you could just, pour a little bit at a time. This is actually quite a bit faster than the original time. The other thing I was testing was the actual latch. When I close the latch, does it actually stop the dripping? And like 90% of the time it did.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time. That doesn't make sense.
I didn't really need to leave the carafe under here. I didn't see any drips on the counter, so I was really impressed by that. I just wasn't sure like how long this would last, like this plastic thing, So like the more moving parts there are, the more that can go wrong. So, but I was really impressed with the latching system. I just haven't cleaned this yet. Like I said, traditionally this would be full of grounds and coffee, and this would sit on our counter, and it's actually a pretty small vessel, and when you're ready you just grab another mason jar and you filter into that, and then you have your actual concentrate. So I'm not sure if this is easier. Again, this takes up more space, so I'm kind of conflicted with this whole thing. Like, maybe people don't know to just grab a cone and filter their own, but maybe some people just want to wake up in the morning and they just want like a little bit of cold brew. Like you could, this is how easy this could be if you don't want to wait for the whole process of draining. You could literally just put your glass under here and just pour a little bit at a time, and then you're like, okay, that's all I want, and you go about your day. So maybe that's who this is for. They just want a little bit. Look at, there's one drip. I found one drip down here. So you might have like 1 or 2 drops and that might bother you. This certainly works. I'm just not totally convinced that it's worth $50 for some plastic, you know. Part of me thinks that maybe this, I don't know, maybe it's a little too much when you could just, this is what you could do. This is traditionally how I would do it. I'd pour it in there, filter it all out. Sometimes it takes a while, you know, because there's a lot of grounds. I mean, it really could be that simple. No moving parts. This is very small and mobile. I mean, and that works too. So that's why I'm wondering, like, is this like a lot? Like, this is a lot of work. This is a lot to clean. It's kind of big. And maybe people just don't know that they can just filter into, and, you know, they can filter 1 cup at a time if they want, you know. I will say this is a really satisfying experience, pouring the water over it and then finally, like in the morning, you know, pressing the lever. I think there's something to that. Like, it feels like a machine, you know. It feels premium in some ways. Since this is kind of big, I'm not sure if people are going to want to leave this on their counter. And like I said, like, I don't think it looks like an appliance. I don't think it looks good enough. I think some people might get sick of the way it looks when they could just do this. Some people, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's confusing me. Yes, it works. I don't see any problems with it. It's just kind of big. It doesn't really look like an appliance. You might think it's ugly. It might be just as much work to clean as a few mason jars. And you know, it is expensive. It's $50 and I have no doubt it's gonna last a while. And I like this a lot. Like, I guess I could just do that. And that looks pretty, you know, like we can just go right into one of these and it has nice measurements on this carafe. I'm just not sure if this is for everyone. So I'm kind of conflicted on this. For me, I drink cold brew like once or twice a week. I think mason jars would work. I can put them anywhere. They don't take up a lot of space. My wife, though, she drinks cold brew like every day. And so, you know, this being on the counter, she might like that, you know. I don't know if I like the way it looks. It doesn't really look like an appliance. It's too big to fit in the fridge. So I guess really it depends about your situation. Do you drink cold brew every day? Do you like the way this looks? I'm not a huge fan of the plastic mixing with glass, but you know, this is really durable and I don't mind plastic. Like, I use plastic on my AeroPress, you know, so I don't mind that. I just think it looks like a weird design. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys have one of these, what are your experiences? You can check out the links below to get one. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. You can click right here for more coffee videos, right here for the last video we just did, and right down here to subscribe. See you later.